It's Off the Top Rope Monday night tonight, and add in a total treat with the Total Diva, making things chaotic for her rivals in pro wrestling. Superstar from Chaotic Wrestling, Paris Van Dale, joins your boy Ty Asbury tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, I forgot to mention, she has a bit of an attitude problem as she steps in the ring. But you know what? I feel bad for her opponents. Paris Van Dale joins your boy Ty Asbury on the ropes tonight. And as always, it will be sizzling.
The Ropes Media. Tyrone Asbury. Yeah. Tyrone Asbury. Yeah. Every chance you get to hear us, you clear us. It's the time on the radio. My opinion's my opinion. Every time you hear me now moving out, they're on the stereos. Every podcast live.
What's up, everybody? As always, it is live on this Monday night. And like I always say, it's Monday night, and you know what's going down. I'm your boy Ty Asbury, live with another episode of Off the Top Rope. And like I said, this episode is a treat for you, a total treat, because of my live guest. She is the Total Diva. Paris Van Dale is in the house. Paris, how you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for wanting to do the show. And like I said, I've been really having this tagline for the show for a long time because you are the Total Diva. That's why I pretty much titled this show as a total treat for all the fans watching tonight's episode of Off the Top Rope. Now, I want to ask you first and foremost, it being, Monday, getting back into the week groove. And I want to know, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. I didn't really do much. It was kind of like a lazy, relaxing weekend. So that's always good.
That's always definitely good. And I'm mostly going to ask you about, too, is that, this is your first time on the ropes. And whenever a talent comes on Off the Top Rope, they're going to get something out of this episode. So all your fans watching the show and new fans that you want to gain, what do you want to get? What do you want for them to get out of this episode of Off the Top Rope?
I just kind of get to know me, and maybe, get some new fans, like you said, out of it. And then everybody who has followed me, they can maybe learn a little bit more about me that they didn't know already.
Now, the first thing that doing my research to get the show together, so, I can, get an A+ in your book of being, pretty much prepared to have you on. Now, I'm going to throw up a first graphic. I want to see this graphic that I'm going to bring up now. I love the logo. Now, when you see that, like it says, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you see that? The Total Diva, Paris Van Dale, because that's a badass logo. I love it.
Yes, actually, the person who did my music created the logo for me. And I saw it too, and I was like, oh my god, that's perfect. Very out there, very reminiscent of the show Total Divas, which is where I kind of got the inspiration for the name because I'm a big Diva fan. But yeah, so I love it.
Yeah, and I think that how hard is it that we're on a subject to talk about logos? How hard is it to come up with the logo for a wrestler? For you, did you draw stuff out, or they helped you? They were like, Paris, this we got, check it out.
So they kind of just asked me for my picture. The person who did my music, his name is Squirty LaFlo. He's from Canada, and he's in my custom music, and he kind of just asked me for a picture, and that was the logo that he put with the song.
Awesome. That's a really cool thing. So I just wanted to point that out here on tonight's episode of Off the Top Rope. So, and again, off the top of the hour, I want to thank everybody for watching the show live. And I'm going to say it firsthand on the show. If you got to ask, Paris Van Dale a question, what kind of attitude that she has tonight, she's going to beat up, definitely can comment here on the comment section here on Off the Top Rope on this Monday night, a Monday night treat. Paris Van Dale is in the house. Now, I look back at a lot of what you did last year, and if you can probably look at a few things, what did you learn about yourself as a wrestler from last year? Because as I've talked about a lot on the show with a lot of guests, it seems like wrestling in the business, you never stop learning. year after year after year. So last year, what did you really take out of last year and 2021?
So I definitely learned a lot because a lot of what I had done in like 2020 was like the taping era of wrestling, because of COVID and the pandemic and everything. So there weren't any crowds. So it was very like fun and exciting to kind of get to work like with a crowd for the first time and getting those like and hearing those actual like reactions. So it was very, very like good learning experience to sort of like kind of see what the crowd likes and like what they don't like, because it's you can hear from like social media and like kind of gauge, but it's a totally different like animal like actually experiencing that in person.
That's a really cool feedback how you talk about that getting getting back out of the pandemic where wrestling's starting to get back to the full swing of things. Like what was the difference about being in the pandemic with no fans, and then once you get back, and what is like the fans bring? I would think with every talent is different, but for you, what do the fans bring for you where your adrenaline is like crazy?
They definitely bring like that energy and like you said, that adrenaline. So like my first match actually happened right before the shutdown, and it was a no crowd show because we were like right getting into the pandemic. So I didn't get to experience like a crowd until like after I had been wrestling for like a couple months. So it was very like exciting and kind of nerve-wracking because you're like, ooh, like I don't know how everybody's gonna react. And yeah, like I've been wrestling through the pandemic, but like, is anybody gonna know who I am? Because you don't necessarily know like who like is watching all of the tapings, or if people have taken a break through like the pandemic. And because sometimes like the without the crowd shows wasn't for everyone. So it was one of those things where it's like, okay, like are people gonna know me? Like, so it was exciting, but also kind of like nerve wracking at the same time.
Now I know one thing about with wrestling fans. Wrestling fans, they love moves. It's like the moves in the ring that brings them into the heat of the action. Like, oh, did you see what A, B, C, D, and E, F, G, H, has done? Now, have you lately have you maybe added some new moves to what you do in the ring, or you're kind of thinking about it, but you're just going to keep it on the DL? Like, what's that? How's that making out for the Total Diva and like new moves and adding them to be what you already are, and that's a badass in the ring.
At training, I'm always like, practicing like new moves and trying to like look online and like different YouTube videos and just watching like matches and tape study and like trying to find ways that will like set myself apart from everyone else. It's always like, exciting to like try something new and try something different and like something that people normally maybe wouldn't expect from you. For a while I was like in a tag team, so it's like also been kind of fun to experiment, like okay, like now I'm not just looking for like different tag moves, I get to like kind of look for like moves that like I would do. So yeah, I'm always in wrestling, it's always like growing and learning and trying to recreate and reinvent yourself.
Have, and another big impact I know of wrestling besides the fans and what you do, because that's why the fans come to the arena is to see the one and only Total Diva. Now I've noticed a lot lately with it seems like wrestling today it's filled with a lot of promotions coming up. Of course, you got WWE, AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor is coming back. The list goes on and on and on. But have you seen a big difference in any promotions that you've seen on the rise that you may have competed for that you're like, man, they're on notice of wrestling? Watch out.
I definitely feel like, so my home promotion is Chaotic Wrestling, which is based out of like the Massachusetts area. We just started kind of like during the pandemic, so like during like 2021, to do Twitch streams. So which that's something that we hadn't done before. So like definitely watch out for Chaotic Wrestling. Always putting on some of like the best, craziest matches. Our biggest show of the year is actually happening this Friday in Lowell. So if you're in the Lowell area, Boston area, like come down. There's still tickets available. Another promotion that I think is really, really fun and exciting is WWR, Plus. It's an all women's promotion, that's just great because I feel like sometimes you have like 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 women on a card, but like this show is just top to bottom has a woman a part of every single match, and I just think that's great.
Now, speaking of those promotions, I definitely want to talk about them a little bit on the show because they've been on my mind a lot since airing on the show tonight. So we're definitely going to keep those, in the back of the mind because I want to bring them up a little bit later on. Now, of course, I always got to ask this. You talked about the Boston area, in which Chaotic is based in the Massachusetts area.
Mm-hmm.
What is probably for you the best food to eat up there after a show where you put the work in, you got the W, and I'm gonna treat myself to good. What's like some badass Massachusetts like food, and for people who may want to travel to see you at Chaotic?
So funny you asked that. I'm probably not the best person to answer that question because I'm not from like Boston. I'm from Rhode Island. So like, and I don't really spend that much time in like the Massachusetts area unless it's for like wrestling or training. And at that point my mind is like so focused on like wrestling and training that I'm like sometimes like forget like to kind of like scope out the area and try new things. As far as like food though, like I love like sushi. That's probably like my go-to like kind of like treat meal. Sushi's just like my favorite. So I guess that didn't really answer your question that good, but like big sushi fan. Pizza's always great. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about pizza now anyway. But you brought up a good point. You said you are from Rhode Island. Now, Rhode Island, how is the wrestling scene there? Because how is it currently? Do you see any growth with it? Because of course, we're all wrestling fans, and I don't hear too much about Rhode Island. So, how's the Rhode Island wrestling scene as you look at it currently here in 2022?
I've never wrestled. Being from Rhode Island, I've never wrestled in Rhode Island. And I don't really hear too much about like the Rhode Island wrestling scene because I feel like there isn't a lot of it. I feel like one of the bigger ones that was running like weekly in Rhode Island was XWA, but they just recently closed their doors for a little bit. So yeah, I don't know too much about the Rhode Island wrestling scene. Hopefully we can get some good like wrestling shows and like more promotions in Rhode Island. That'd be great.
Well, we all know the Total Diva. She got to put her spin on that. The Total Diva got to make it happen. Tell Rhode Island, get some wrestling going up in here, for the people who love wrestling in the Rhode Island, area.
There's like some shows at FET. I know Beyond runs Providence shows sometimes, but they're mainly based out of like Massachusetts, like Worcester and like the Boston area. I think WR is running a show in May at FET. So check it out.
Definitely check it out. And I'm glad everybody's checking out this live episode of Off the Top Rope because tonight is a total treat. We got the Total Diva, Paris Vandale, in the house, Chaotic Wrestling, because, like I said, she may have a bit of an attitude problem, but you got she has an attitude problem with you. I'd be scared if I was you. So don't piss her off. But Paris Vandale is live here on Off the Top Rope on this Monday night. So everybody, thank you for watching all around the world here on Off the Top Rope. Now, Paris, you, of course, one thing I've seen booming in wrestling is that it's definitely like intergender wrestling, tag matches. I know it's real big on the indie scene. And you've done Stan Styles, his intergender,
Yes.
NASA, which I know has just been booming. And people who never been to one of those events, like how are they? And outside of that, what do you see with intergender wrestling moving forward? Because I've seen like a big boom with it, especially more on the indie scene.
I love intergender wrestling. I feel like, it's not for everybody, and that's okay. Everybody has their own like taste of what they like and what they don't like. But I just think like intergender wrestling is so much fun. Like we're all competitors, we're all athletes. So like why can't women wrestle the guys? We all usually train with the guys. So what makes that like
Yeah, that's what I understand. It's like you train together, but why not put that out in front of the fans?
But yeah, I think intergender wrestling is great. I think a lot of it, like, it's super entertaining. Like, you're not gonna see like the same things like that girls may not be able to do with other girls, they can do with other guys. And then like same thing goes with like guys, things that they normally wouldn't do in a match with like other men can do with girls. And I just think like it's like I said, it's not for everyone, and I get that, but personally me, like I think we're all athletes, and I think like I don't quite understand, like we're all wrestlers at the end of the day. I hope just like one day we can sort of like stop with the labels. Like we're wrestlers, like yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, you guys are all wrestlers. I mean, we all train together. Let's all go out there and fight. We're all human. I say we eat the same, sleep the same. The wrestlers, they're all the
Yeah.
same. Get out there and just, I know what you mean. And
Yeah.
that's one of the questions, because for me, I've seen a lot of really cool intergender matches on the indie scene. And when I saw what you did, Stan Styles' event, I had to ask you that, and you really broke it down. And for talent who watched you just say that on the show, they're like, damn, Paris really broke it down. You're all the same. Just start unraveling that a little bit and let it happen.
I agree. More intergender wrestling.
More intergender wrestling. Now, Paris, as you sit there tonight, the one and only Total Diva, I'm sure you get more of an attitude for your next match, which you should, because that's you. Don't lose that. If you could sit right now and think of one wrestler who drives you nuts, you can't wait to face him again, but when you do face him again, it's going to be a drag out brawl. Who would that be?
Armani Chaos, my former tag partner. We're actually wrestling each other Friday at Chaotic Cold Fury. And I think it'll be a lot of fun, because who knows me better and who knows him better than each other, because we tagged with each other for so long. I think it'll be exciting. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be vicious, and I'm just ready to win.
And I'm sure you said for this match, tickets will be on sale for this match, correct?
Yes, they are still currently on sale. There's 10 floor seats available. So if you want that floor seats, there's 10 tickets left for the floor. So if you want to come, if you want to get a good seat, get them now, because they probably won't be available in a couple days.
I'm letting everybody know. What are you doing? The 10 tickets for floor seats? Everybody watching. If you're in this area, definitely get on it. Like I said, I definitely want you to definitely plug this show before we wrap up the night for this episode too, because if I was in the area, my ass would be there. Damn, 10 floor seats, man. Darn it. But that's really cool, and I'm really, by any way, for people who can't get to there, will the match be streamed in any capacity?
Yes, it won't be streamed live, but usually they will be on Twitch within the coming weeks. Not a set date yet, but it will be on Twitch.
I keep hearing, I never use Twitch. I can't do it worth a damn, but it seems like, how big is pro wrestling and Twitch getting? People may say, Ty, are you crazy? Is that getting really big? Because I hear Twitch is terrific from what I've gathered.
I feel like a lot of places do stream on Twitch. I feel like it's definitely a platform to where companies that want to own their own like products without putting it up on like a streaming service like IWTV or like Fight TV. Like Twitch is like the big thing. I only really use Twitch. I know Twitch is like also a big gaming platform too, but I only use Twitch to watch wrestling. So that's kind of how I see Twitch as, just like any other like streaming platform that puts on wrestling, whether that's like, WWE streams on Peacock. There's wrestling shows that stream on IWTV, Fight TV. But yeah, Twitch. And then if you're an Amazon Prime, like if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to one Twitch channel for free each month. So
man, today the getting is good, if I said that right. But it seems like with Twitch, you got the Total Diva, you got the T in there, Twitch, like the Twitch Total Diva, sensation something. But you guys are on to something, that you're doing your wrestling events on Twitch, and I gotta get more I got to get it more down. So that's in due time. But rolling on here on off the top rope. Now, I want to talk about, of course, we're going to go down some, of course, wrestling memory lane, a total wrestling memory lane for you. And these promotions quite well. We just talked about them. And when you look at all these promotions, one after the other, you can start in any order. Which one, if you had to think of one positive thing that you learned from each promotion, what would it be?
So Chaotic is my home promotion. New England Pro Wrestling Academy is like this kind of like the school that is affiliated with Chaotic. So I always would, as a student of New England Pro Wrestling Academy, I would always help out at the Chaotic shows, and I would always think about how exciting it'll be to eventually get on Chaotic or be able to be ready for Chaotic. And now that I am, I have so much fun at Chaotic. It's such a fun, positive like environment, and like yeah. WR I also think is just amazing. I all women promotion, and I've just think it's great. It's what they're doing. APW, I think that also is APW and NCW are just all around fun. I feel like very interactive with the crowds. Like the crowds are very like ready to watch wrestling, and yeah, so getting to work for those shows, like I always know that the crowd's gonna be ready to watch some wrestling.
They were pretty much blessed to have the total Diva treat. So and I'm pretty sure you're going to be doing more great things with them. So like I said, I'm definitely proud of you for what you've done with those promotions and what you will continue to do with those promotions. And it seems like to me like wrestling, it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. More promotions are coming out and about, and like you being a part of, I've said this before to a lot of guests, you're part of the female, women's wrestling evolution. And it's like the sky is high for you.
Yeah, I think to see where women's wrestling was like even like a few years ago to how it is now is just like incredible. Like I said was talking about earlier, like sometimes there would only be like one women's match on a
Yeah.
show, and now you can go to shows and you can see multiple women's matches, or there's many women's promotions right now. Like there's Mission Pro Wrestling, which is in Texas, like that area. WR, which runs New England. There's also Capital Championship Wrestling, which is like a women's promotion. And I feel like a couple years ago, like that would just be like unheard of to have like an action, like all women's promotion, and then also all women's promotions that people are like invested in and they want to see and come out to these shows. So I just think to see how far women's wrestling has come is just, it's incredible.
Yeah. And I'm glad I'm even alive to be a part of it, because I know it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And hey, we have a total treat, because we get to watch, in this generations of the women's wrestling evolution of, Paris Van Dale. And speaking of which, you also had, I'm sure you're going to say, I definitely remember, so I'm going to pull this up as well, of course. February 23rd, I did my research. It went down. You had some taste of AEW, and see, I know AEW, as big as it is, like I'm sure AEW, they taught you some things. So what was your most like to really come through AEW and kick some butt there and just learn from AEW?
It was so much fun. It was such a great experience getting to wrestle on AEW's Dark Elevation. The environment is just so encouraging and positive, and I think what they're doing is they're giving so many like local talent opportunities to perform on AEW Dark and then AEW Dark Elevation. And I feel like something like that is just like so unheard of. Like weekly local independent talent get the opportunity to wrestle on national television. And I just think that's great.
Now, if you had to, I'm sure, I'm positive you'll be making your way back to AEW again. If you had to look at all the talented ladies, I'm gonna say or men, on the roster, who you think you could have a badass match with in AEW currently right now?
There's so many. Just like I feel like there's so many great women.
Yeah.
Can I just like list people because I feel like it's so like hard to like pick. Thunder Rosa, incredible. Tony Storm just was signed. Mercedes Martinez. Big fan of Mercedes Martinez. Yeah, I feel like Chris Statlander, another one. Layla Hirsch, just like I'd love to just wrestle all of them. Like wrestle as many people as I can wrestle.
Yeah. Have a big ass women's battle royal too.
Just gauntlet match.
That will be really now when that time comes. When you get that knock on the door or email or whatever about Paris, we need you to come back to AEW. Definitely let us know. So post it up. Definitely gotta let your boy Ty Asbury know about it too. So because I'll be looking forward to that as well. Definitely as well. And I showed it in the promo, and this match this was like a back in the day match, and this was old school right here. So if you can go back and look at this match, I know you think about all your matches. What brings to mind about this match from back in the day?
Definitely hard hitting. I feel like we really brawled in this match.
Y'all was rocking it, man.
I believe we like went outside the ring. There was like a lot of like strikes. I love like just like brawling and wrestling. Like I feel like it's so much fun. And Delmy is just great to work with. Anytime like I can just work with Delmy, like she is such a great human.
One point in this match, I think one of you guys took a superplex on the floor. I was like, damn, because it was like
listen, you gotta do what you gotta do to win.
Exactly. Which I guess, by the way, the Total Diva goes by any means necessary.
That is right.
Gotta get her done. But I watched that match myself before, getting ready for the show today. I love this. I figured I want to share it with all the fans and share it with you. Job well done in that hard brawl because fans love, Jim Ross would say it's a good slobber knocking. So yeah, but now I do it all the time on the show, Paris, where I put all my guests on the spot. They got to put the thinking cap on. So you ready for the next segment?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's rock it.
Damn, Ty. That's good.
All right, so the question is, now since you know the word total pretty well, being a Total Diva, the question is, so using the word total, you have to create your own promotion name with total in it, and using the word total, what would the pay-per-view name be?
Jeez. This is a hard question. I really do have to put my thinking cap on. This was already like a name. This is already like a promotion name. Like I just keep thinking like TNA, but like that's already like a thing. This is gonna be the worst wrestling promotion name of all time, but Total Wrestling Association.
That actually, I don't think that's bad. I actually like that. I would if you create that, I would come see it, and I'll be in the front row. So I like that.
Another pay-per-view name.
Yeah.
One super basic, but I feel like go with basic. Why try to overthink? First thought that popped in my head was Total Madness.
I like that because Macho. I thought Macho Man, but Total Madness because you being a wrestler, chances like 100% of the time is madness. You guys are mad, so yeah. Total. I actually like that. Yeah, we
That's a great question. I liked this segment. It really made me like have to think.
I've done plenty of shows where some guests were stumped. They had to post the answers on their social media, but you are on the list of very few where they came something like that. So I've had guests where they said, damn, man, you really stumped me on this one. But your answers were really cool. So, we got to give a round of applause.
Thank you.
The Total Diva was a total sensation for a damn tie. That's a good segment here on Off the Top Rope. And Total Madness. I like that. I actually like that. So we have to keep that in mind for your debut pay-per-view one day.
Yes.
Now, Paris, we've been talking about it a lot on the show. You have a busy April coming up with your schedule. So let everybody know what's up next for you, because you got some big matches coming up. So tell everybody worldwide what's up next for the Total Diva. Who's she gonna be beating up next?
Friday, I will be wrestling Armani Chaos at Chaotic Wrestling's Cold Fury. It's their biggest show of the year. So I definitely come. If you've been wanting to come to Chaotic and you're just not sure what show you want to go to, definitely come to Cold Fury. It'll be a great time. There's Anthony Green's on the show, Matt Taven, JT Dunn, Dave Yen. So many just amazing wrestlers. Alec Price. And then April 30th, I am wrestling for Lucky Pro Wrestling in a Fatal 4-Way. It is myself, Alicia Edwards, Luscious Latasha, and Shannon Levangie. So check that out too in Natick, Mass.
Man, that Fatal 4-Way, all four of those talented ladies, man, that's gonna be badass. Man. Now, you got the schedule down. One thing I hope you're down with, from 1 to 10, would you ever come back off the top rope again and party it up with your boy, Ty Asbury?
Definitely. Anytime. I'll give it a 10. I'll come back on. That question was really good.
I appreciate that. I will let everybody know for her opponents, her upcoming promotions she goes to, if they say, man, this lady brings total madness, because the reason why she is the one and only Paris Vandale, the Total Diva. She was live here on Off the Top Rope Monday night, and it was a total treat having her on the show and watch this lady tear it up in 2022. Paris, I want to thank you very, very much for coming on Off the Top Rope. It was an honor. And most importantly, be safe, be healthy, get some belts, kick ass, and I want you to come back on the ropes.
Definitely. Well, thank you for having me on.
I'm Ty Asbury. Thank you for watching this awesome, and of course, it was a total treat of Off the Top Rope Monday night. Paris Vandale was my live guest. I'm Ty Asbury. I'm going to end the show with some sizzling beats. We're out of here. Have a great night.
The Ropes Media. Tyrone Asbury.